Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video has been my most requested video and I've already done one video on it probably about a year ago now, but I have interviewed Racheal, who is actually from my online acne program. So in this video we discuss what happens when you go off the contraceptive pill, what is the contraceptive pill, what some alternatives are, and just in general some chat about hormones. A disclaimer before I go on, this is not a video that is against the contraceptive pill. The contraceptive pill works wonders for so many women and it also helps with endometriosis, but we just wanted to discuss what actually happens when you go off the pill so you can make an informed decision before you go on it. We're also going to be talking about alternatives because the pill isn't the only option, guys. There are so many different options and you do not have to go on the pill. It's not. Doctors, I have to say, I do believe doctors prescribe it too often, too easily, and I think, you know, you should actually have a conversation with your doctor, talk about the benefits, the pros and the cons before you go on it, and also know what happens when you go off it suddenly, what may happen. Acne was one of the major side effects that I experienced going on and off the pill, and I also experienced irregular cycles after going off the pill. So that was just me, but every individual is different. So if you are someone who has just gone off the pill and you're waiting for your cycle, or you're experiencing acne, or I don't know, there are heaps of other symptoms that you can experience, this video is for you because it will tell you the general reason why you are experiencing those symptoms. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you like it, and please definitely go and check out Racheal from Thrive Natural Health, who is being interviewed in this video. She's amazing and she also offers online Skype consults if you want to check that out. So I will see you in my next vlog. Bye. Today we're with Racheal from Thrive Natural Health. How are you today?
Really well, thank you.
So what is the contraceptive pill and what does it do?
The oral contraceptive pill is basic. It stops you from ovulating. The way it does that is it supplies the body with synthetic hormones, estrogen, progesterone, or sometimes just progesterone, known as the mini pill. Basically how your hormones work is it really starts right from the top here. So in the brain there's a pituitary gland and they secrete a hormone called luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. And when we're about 16, these guys start to pump out and they will then tell the ovaries to release an egg. And when we're about 16, this is when usually, I'm just talking in general, that a girl will start to get her period, her bleed. And then this communication with the brain chemicals telling your ovaries to have a period or a bleed, it's like, think of it like a dirt track. There's the communication isn't that good, so sometimes it misses, so you don't get a period, you don't get a bleed. Sometimes you get cramping or you start to get acne because there's the communication, basically a dirt road. And then this road eventually will turn into a highway where it has that really good communication to release an egg, to have a good bleed, and to start having your cycle every 28 days. So at the age of 16, now the oral contraceptive pill will come along and give the girl estrogen and progesterone, and it will stop that communication from the brain to the ovaries, so that never happens. And then you're on the pill for, you know, a good 5-10 years sometimes, and then with getting a synthetic form of estrogen, it can make you a bit more anxious, a bit more irritable, just feeling withdrawn and a bit more depressed. So then, you know, the mother goes, oh no, my daughter's going through so much stress at school. Then she might go back to the doctors and go on an antidepressant pill as well. So I guess at the first start of it, I just want to let you guys know that if you were on the pill, it's okay. And it's just really got to stop this over prescription of medicine to young women, because then that young girl that's now on the oral contraceptive pill and now an antidepressant thinks that her body's not right, that her body's broken and she needs to now fix it, which is not the case, because all that happened right at the beginning was she just needed to allow that communication to become a highway.
To get stronger,
Yeah, for sure. So now what we're doing is we're taking away the pill and trying to make that communication barrier into a highway.
So it takes so much longer.
Yeah, exactly. Because your body's like, I've never had to make my own hormones. You've always given me hormones. What the hell is going on? Then it starts to freak out, and that's where it can contribute to anxiety. It can contribute to mostly acne as well that we see. I guess it comes down to priority.
Yeah.
Because I mean, plan A is you don't get pregnant. Plan B, you need to have, a plan if you do fall pregnant, if you get off the pill. And to some girls and to some partners, because your partner also has to be included in that decision to come off, you're going to have to plan if you do fall pregnant, because that is a huge risk that you are taking. Yeah. And it's not something just to breeze over. It's you could conceive a child.
Can it take a while before breaking out when coming off the pill? I went off the pill and it took 10 months before I even got a single pimple. I'd like to learn ways to come off the pill as I'm back on it again.
Yeah, absolutely. So remember how we were talking about the creating that dirt road into a highway?
Yes.
That should have originally taken 3 years. So it really depends on your case history, but that can take up to around 3 years, is what I've learned, from here to down in your ovaries to, you know, create a good period and to bleed naturally without any pain. So definitely can take 10 months, can take up to 3 years. Some people even, 2 months. It really depends on your body and your biochemistry in the body.
Is the copper IUD safe to use instead of the pill? I've heard people say that it's really only prescribed to women who have had children and can cause heavier than normal bleeding and other complications on women who haven't had children.
Mm-hmm. With the copper IUD, it is fine to have all ages. Well, it's not really recommended very, very young, but for adults that are in having, sexual relationships, it's fine. The only thing that is different with a pregnant woman compared to a non-pregnant woman is the cervix will expand during pregnancy and during vaginal birth. So the theory is that when it is actually inserted, because it needs to go up through the cervix and it sort of binds with its little claws. I know it sounds gross, but it's like an anchor, and it will bind into the cervix. And with someone that's given a vaginal birth, that cervix has allowed itself to open up. With someone that hasn't, it's very tiny, like a pinhole size. So it could be a little bit more painful for a girl that hasn't had a child before, but it's still safe. You will still create that environment where that sperm can't go in and survive, basically. With the bleed, it is common for girls to bleed for the first 12 months a little bit heavier, but then it should subside down. After. Some girls will still remain having a heavy period, but with the copper IUD, it just means that you can still have a natural period, which is good in my eyes, to have that natural period and fluctuations of your hormones every month.
Okay, and what is the difference between the copper IUD and the Mirena?
The copper IUD is copper, so it creates an acidic environment where the sperm can't survive, and the Mirena is just progesterone. So with the progesterone only, it thins out the mucal wall, so there's no, when you got a fertilized egg, the blood on the wall would adhere to it, and then it will start growing a baby, basically. So that wall is really thinned out, and it may or may not stop ovulation either. So you can't really prove this at all, but a lot of the studies show even now that the Mirena may or may not stop ovulation. So it really depends on how your hormonal profile is. But basically the Mirena just stops that wall from coming onto the uteral lining, so you can't have an implanted egg.
Okay. I would love some advice on how to fix hormonal acne. I have been off the pill 10 months and still breaking out all over my jaw and neck.
Good question. That's
we
the
all
golden
want to know.
question. Hormonal acne, one, you can definitely go get it tested, but you'd always look. Did you come off the pill?
Yeah, 10 months ago.
Okay, 10 months ago. So remember how I was saying about the pathway from your luteinizing hormone and pituitary gland telling the ovaries? You're still establishing that, so we've got to understand that you need support. Once you take off that the oral contraceptive pill, remember that your body is now needing to make your hormones. So it's freaking out right now. It's going, what? I've got to make these hormones. So then what would happen is this huge surge of hormones will come up because it needs to make its own. And when that happens, you get higher hormones, which means you might get higher oils in your sebaceous glands, you might get moody, you might get clottier periods. So things are going to start to be a little bit shaky at the first couple of months to a year. So two of the things, well, three actually, that you should really look after is, one, your liver. Because you have had synthetic hormones come through the body for 2 years to 10 years at most, these synthetic hormones need to get out of your system because they're telling different hormones to react to your skin, which is causing your acne. So have things like your brassica vegetables. Follow the nutrition plan that was made specifically for acne, which is fantastic. Avoid anything like dairy, get out sugar, because you can do a huge amount just with your diet alone. You need to support your adrenals because you're in your adrenal glands, that can cause inflammation, but it's also really good for progesterone. So if you're continually making your cortisol, you need to make progesterone. So find ways that you can calm down your sympathetic nervous system, but with in my eyes, just make sure that you're breathing. I know it sounds really crazy, but deep breaths will help you get straight into that parasympathetic nervous system. If you've ever had anxiety, you breathe up here, so all the way up here, and you never allow that breath to get down into the deep belly. So that signals so much things that we don't even realize. That oxygen levels in your blood traveling around tells your body, freak out because I don't have enough oxygen levels to breathe. So then that will tell your nervous system that you're in trouble, that you're in danger. So all these chemicals start to happen when you don't breathe. So deep breathing is really good, so is meditation. So definitely look after your nervous system. And then thirdly, gut health is also really huge because that's where the inflammation comes from. So looking at, have you got food intolerances, perhaps that there's more bad bacteria going on in the gut as well. So there's so many different products that you can get. One I really like is Gut Right that you can start on. It's really gentle, but it's also very therapeutic to get in there and start killing off the microbes that's in your gut that can be causing acne.
My question is about my cycle. I have never had a regular cycle. I lost my period for 5 years while I was on the contraceptive needles, and post my last injection it took close to 2 years to come back. I would love a rundown of what happens in our cycles at each stage and how to track what's happening. That's my favorite topic.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah, well,
good.
we're gonna get up this diagram.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pop this diagram in a split screen.
So the chart that you would be seeing on this screen shows your follicle stimulating hormone. We'll start from the top. So ovary cycle. So you can see where the ovary is, and that little pink thing with the little dot, that's an egg. So you can see how it's going to pop out during ovulation, and then that's going to go down your fallopian tubes, and if there is sperm floating around, it allows the sperm to pop in, and then your basically fertilized egg. And then you can see the corpus luteum then shrivels up, and then basically that egg, if it's not fertilized, it just goes out with your bleed. On this second one here, it shows you how your body temperature goes up and it rises. So if you are off the pill and you are looking at natural fertility, I get my clients to do a natural basal body temperature. Really simple. Every morning, get up, take your temperature, see if it's peaked. If it is, you ovulated. So that's the time to have sex, or it's either time to avoid having sex. So that's really, really handy, and you get to know your body quite well. The second one is, this is into the brain now. So this has got your luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. So when these surge, those hormones are released right from your pituitary, and then they track down to your ovaries, and then your ovaries now release your estrogen or your progesterone, which allow, either progesterone is going to allow the uteral wall to hold in, and then the estrogen builds it. So this is where estrogen, if you get sticky blood, clotting in the period, that means you got higher estrogen because it builds your blood. And then at the uteral cycle, it just shows how the blood builds on the uteral lining, and then it sheds down after the menses. So that's basically how a normal period will happen, but we're not normal. So there's sometimes you can see that you know, can be right at the beginning, PCOS, you're not getting those messages to pop off that egg. So this is where those eggs get stuck onto your ovulation. Then you've got your brain chemicals messaging down to the ovaries. Sometimes they stop, sometimes it's actually from here. Stress, that's where stress comes along, because if your brain's going, I can either have babies because I'm safe and happy, or it's going to go, you're in danger, do not have children. That won't even come out. So you can see where so many different aspects from everything can really change a normal period.
So have you ever had any luck with people with PCOS who are trying to get pregnant? Does your cycle, or do your ovaries change every month in terms of the number of cysts or follicles you have in there?
Yeah, so you could usually, you ovulate on your left, right, so you alternate. So we got to work out, I mean, the reason why you get PCOS is basically insulin resistance. So you cut out sugar and then you work on helping that ovulation to happen, either from the brain chemistries or the estrogen progesterone. So PCOS is not, if you have it, it's not something that you have to deal with for the rest of your life, but you do have to make the effort to help rebalance your hormones. There's so many different types of PCOS. Some get hirsutism, which is hair around the hair in the chin, big cystic acne around here as well, darkening of the hair. But most of it, the underlying cause is insulin resistance. Hence why if you do go to the doctor, they will give you something like metformin, which does help because it helps with that insulin resistance. So in your ovaries, testosterone will convert into estrogen. And it does this by an enzyme called the aromatase enzyme, which basically means it just converts. But what happens is insulin will come along and block that aromatase enzyme. So now you've got a high amount of testosterone going around your body. So it will convert to dihydrotestosterone. And what this does, it tells all your little hair follicles and sebaceous glands to create oil and hairs. So then you get that cystic acne. Very, I guess, you can't say traditional, but very classic polycystic ovarian syndrome. So the main thing, look at how much sugar you're getting into your diet, and there's hidden sugar everywhere. My rule of thumb is stick to under 5 grams of sugar per 100 grams. So every back of the label of an Australian food product needs to have a nutrition label. Look at their carbohydrates under its sugar. Stick to under 5 grams because there's sugar absolutely hidden everywhere. And that can definitely help. But also looking at clearance of estrogen, liver support with PCOS as well.
Okay, this is a good question. My question is, do you have to take supplements forever? I went to the naturopath and spent so much money on supplements, and she said that eventually my body will start to make the vitamins myself and I won't be deficient when I stop taking them. I felt so good being on them. My skin was great, but then when I went off them and my skin went back to being inflamed and my energy levels went down. That
is such a great question because I hear that all the time. And naturopaths probably have one of the worst names of like putting everyone on supplements. The main, I guess, no, that you're not meant to be on any supplement for the rest of your life. My rule of thumb, if you're trying to shift your hormones, herbs come in and they move hormones, and you should only be on a supplement for 3 months. Then you come off of it and see what's working, what's not working. The fact that you're off of it and you don't feel good means that we are still not treating the root cause. So you need to go back to your naturopath and just let them know also, like go back to them and go, hey, that didn't work for me, I'm back to square one, because perhaps you was treating the wrong hormonal pathway or not getting into the root cause. With supplements, however, I truly believe that we do not get enough nutrients from our foods that we eat. So in that case, I do like adding a green powder into a smoothie or adding that in, and that can be long term for the rest of your life. A probiotic is really good as well, and also fish oils. We do not eat near enough fish, therefore not getting in those healthy fats, omega-3s. So they're the only supplements that I would suggest to be on longer. But besides that, we should be getting all the nutrients from our foods.
Naturopath would like me to get the Implanon eventually out of my arms to rebalance my hormones naturally. I cannot go on the pill anymore. My skin's the worst it's been for years, not 4 years. But I'm just so nervous it will get worse without the fake progesterone. Any tips with this or preferred forms of contraception that won't, in an ideal world, contribute to skin going full-blown cystic crazy?
There's no guarantee. There is definitely no guarantee. However, if you are looking at getting the IUD, there is another one that no one ever really talks about. It's called the Nuvaring, and the Nuvaring is a plastic flexible ring, and you can insert it just up around the cervix. It's sort of like almost like a suction, and it just sits there and it releases a small dose of progesterone. And you use it for 30 days and then you take it out and then you just insert a new one. So if any of you guys are thinking maybe I should change it up a little bit or get a IUD, start with the Nuvaring. See how that works with your body, because you can take it out at any time and it stays in there for 30 days.
Okay, that sounds good. I was going to touch on that. You know how there is obviously a difference with some people going on the pill and it clearing their skin, and then others going on the pill and getting acne. For instance, I've been on like 6 to 7 pills and they've all done something to my skin or reacted with me. Is that based on the person's natural hormone levels? Like it's interfering, like, you know, do you have a hormone level that is stronger than, say, another person's, and the additional synthetic hormones is throwing you out of balance?
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, it depends on how well you're getting rid of it. So your liver,
detoxifying.
It's coming on what you're naturally creating. So if you're more stressed, you're not creating progesterone, you're creating cortisol. And then it goes with your gut microbiome. If that estrogen is there, it's feeding your gut again and again and again and again. So there's so many different
yeah, and it makes sense for me because like the liver detox always works with me for herbs, whereas others may not work for me, but the liver detox always makes me feel better, and gut health always makes me feel way better. So it does make sense what you're saying. How long do you have to prep your body with supplements before going off the pill? Any other supplements than the ones you've already mentioned, like zinc and B12?
I reckon 3 months is really good to prep your body. 3 months at least, longer the better, but to prep your body, you're basically prepping your liver and you're supporting your nervous system. So they're the only 2 ways to really prep to come off the pill. N-acetylcysteine, which I mentioned before, is really, really good. It even helps support your glutathione. So it's the glutathione is your biggest antioxidant in your body. So N-acetylcysteine is fantastic. Take 1 gram, you can take it up to 3 times per day in water. Knock that back. Cod liver oil is really good to help with inflammation. It's good with skin health and to help reduce all the inflammation around the jawline. And then there was calcium D-glucarate's and one that I use, but the thing with calcium D-glucarate, that's more specific for the gut, but that is really powerful. So you can make that into a formula. And liver support, so again the St. John's wort's really good. No, St. Mary's thistle, okay, I keep saying St. John's wort. St. Mary's thistle is really good for your liver support as well. And don't ever forget about your Vitex agnus castus, which Vitex is really good at rebalancing your hormones. So there's so much that you can do, natural medicine, so much.
And the last one is I've been using F.ACNE by ATP Sign. I'm wondering if any of your patients have used it and if you've seen any previous success.
Yes, I love ATP. I started there working with Matt when I first graduated out of college. So I learnt a lot, and the product F.ACNE is beautiful. It's the way it's mixed. It's got the Vitex agnus castus to help rebalance your hormones, but then it's got things like your brassicas that come in and really help drive your hormones. I use it here in Thrive. Love it. It's really, really good. I usually get my girls to take it 4 in the morning to help increase your progesterone levels to help increase your dopamine levels, so it has you feeling really, really good inside. But yeah, good product.
How long should we wait while taking these supplements to see some sort of improvement in our symptoms or our cycle?
3 months. So I definitely always, rule of thumb is 3 months. Just allow your body's pathways to go and hormones to rebalance. And remember, you're ovulating right to left, so you want to allow at least 3 of your periods to happen for anything to start to rebalance. Absolutely.
So on that note, we will leave it there. It's been a pretty long interview, but I hope you guys got a lot out of it, and we'll definitely see you in the next interview. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.